Well, good morning, friends, and welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Stephanie, and we're at the Lost and Funny Farm. And I'm coming to you today to address a situation that I think a lot of new growers are hearing and not understanding. But first, I'm going to show you what we got growing. It's kind of chilly outside, but the weather's expected to be really great this week. So we're inside today making the last preparations because I'm actually going outside today because I'm going to plant potatoes. Yep. But let me show you what I got growing in here and then we'll get to the topic. So, I know it looks overwhelming. We have, let me walk over here a little closer. We have, yesterday I planted my melons and squash and zucchini. I've got some petunias back there and some rudbeckia. Here I've got Roman and German chamomile, marigold, some peppers. These are the mini bell peppers. Now they're going to my green stalk. You may say, what's that white stuff all over it? Let me tell you about that. I had aphids in my grow room, y'all. And listen. So, it was time for me to pot these up anyway. So, you know what I did? I took them out the 6 cell packs. I got myself a little bowl of diatomaceous earth. And I took them and I swirled them around inside diatomaceous earth. Coated them. Aphids gone. Gone. And then I went ahead and potted them up in the larger cells. Aphid relief. Yay. So look at that. Finally, that right there. Finally, that is butterfly milkweed. Yep. Okay. These are bell peppers. Got some lettuce, some more peppers, some more marigold, some more chamomile. I have this lobelia back here. I started it to see how long it would take to grow and what it would be like, and so it did great. What's up here? Oh, next shelf. More lettuce, amaranth, spearmint and peppermint, a few chives, amaranth, a few more chives. Those are gomphrena. Oh, those are petunias, and we know what these are. Sweet potatoes. Kidney slips. Oh, we got sage everywhere. Everywhere. I've got some sweet alyssum. This is the carpet of snow. And there's some sweet alyssum royal carpet down here. Some more peppers, some more rudbeckia, some more amaranth. This is the amaranth Love Lies Bleeding. And this is the amaranth dreadlocks. Look how big they are. They got really big really fast. And then down there we have some Indian celosia, petunia, a Chinese money plant, also, just in case you didn't know. Some pothos. I took cuttings, potted them up. My begonia maculata. Y'all look at this. This is a syngonium milk confetti. Beautiful. Pothos cuttings I took from my own plants and potted them up, and they are thriving. Those are the new cuttings that's rooting out. Look at that. This is a Hoya Lisa. She's climbing up my wall. My sea blue boo and some desert rose. And up here, this is, if you notice that this shelf is shorter than the rest of them, it's because this is where the seedlings go. Yeah. So we got yarrow, some peppers, some black cumin, some catnip. Look at the yarrow. It's the white yarrow. It looks beautiful. Okay, we got the micro tom tomatoes and the orange hatch. This is my blackberry lily, waiting for those to come up. Some banana peppers, waiting for that angelica to come up. And some rouge de hiver lettuce. More peppers, different varieties. These will be full-size peppers here. Also, they got the dipping too. All sorts of varieties of tomatoes over here, basil and opal basil. On marigolds, that is a moss rose, and look at that, they are opening every day. They look so pretty. Look at that. This is the other. That was 5 separate transplants I put in this one long pot. Basil, 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 basil. Yep, those are the mini patio peppers next to my roselle. Gomfrina. These are my full-size tomatoes here. Basil, I'm sorry, sage, ground cherries. These are asters, the Masamoto blue. Some petunias, some sage, some rudbeckia. All right, you've seen it all. That was pretty much it. I mean, if you got to see everything, you got a pothos up there, a prince of, that's the ring of fire with that one big leaf hanging out. And we know what this is. This is a Monstera Adansonii. Beautiful. She's putting out new leaves like every day. See that? That's a new leaf. I've got a leaf this one's uncurling. Yeah. Things are happening. But we definitely going to clean up these potatoes today. So, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk to you all about USDA hardiness zones and your annual vegetable garden. Now, I know some people, especially, well, whether you're new to gardening or old to gardening or seasoned gardener, let me say, you may have researched what's your USDA hardiness zone. So, I'm not even going to tell you what mine is because it doesn't matter, because we talk about annual gardens here. So that's your, all the stuff you see growing in here. Now, do I have some perennials growing? I do. I've got some Canterbury bells, some bells of Ireland, some echinacea, and those are perennials. But for the most part, what I focus on with you all when I'm outside is the annual garden, and those are the things that's going to live for that will be born and end in the same in a calendar year or in a season. Let me say that, because some people do overwinter their peppers. So things like your tomatoes, your cucumbers, they don't live all year. You will start your seed, and your plant will grow, develop, fruit, flower, fruit, and then die, all in the same year. The frost will likely kill those things off, and just before they go, you will start a new set of seeds for stuff that is cool weather and cold hardy, and that will be your fall and winter stuff. However, in all of those things, your USDA hardiness zone is irrelevant. So tomatoes grow, cucumbers grow, and almost everybody everywhere can grow them. It doesn't matter what your hardiness zone is. So there's no tomato that's growing and it's just like, am I in Texas or Oregon? Because it doesn't matter. What matters for your annuals are your first and last predicted frost date. So let me explain these various things to you. Your USDA hardness zone is an average of your highest and your lowest temperatures based on where you live in the United States, and it is a calculation made that comprises of 20 or more years of data, which is why sometimes it may change. If you look up, you'll see that on average, the United States has risen about 1 to 2 degrees. So we know what that's about, but I'm not here to talk about that. But so you don't need your hardiness zone. What you need to know is your first and last average frost date. So for that, those dates are a prediction, and also based on several years of data compiled to say, okay, usually in this area it starts getting really cold in this month around this day. For example, here where I am, our first frost is usually predicted around Veterans Day. No shade to veterans, okay, we love you. But let me say November the 11th is our first predicted frost here. Our last predicted frost is around somewhere between April 1st and 15th. So what information does that tell me? That tells me for my first predicted frost, all the stuff I grew spring and summer, my succession sowing, my warm weather crops, they will be killed by frost. So I can expect that my tomatoes, my cucumbers, my melons cannot survive frost. So when my first frost comes, those plants are smoked. Now, it may not always be on that day, but you can be certain that it's going to be somewhere close to that time where you'll need to go ahead and start thinking about cutting back those crops, cutting them down to the soil and letting the roots decompose if that's what you choose to do, or pulling them out if that's what you choose to do. But you should be aware that you won't be eating a fresh grown tomato, not this one that you just picked off the vine, in December. At least here, because our first frost where I am is usually predicted around in November. It may be different for you wherever you're watching from. Now, that also means that if you have crops that are cold hardy or frost tolerant, you should be starting them 6 to 8 weeks, and in some cases 10 to 12 weeks before your first predicted frost, so that they have some time to grow in the house from seed rather, get to a good sized seedling, and then transport it outside where it can get accustomed, take root, and be a good, strong, healthy plant. And then it can survive the cold. So if you're growing year round, you'll find that you'll never have a time when your beds may be empty, because that's what I do. So I know that in August, I'm starting seeds for my fall stuff. I'm starting seeds in the house like you see right this minute. This room is covered in stuff that's ready to go outside in April. So I know I'll start my cool weather crops while it's hot outside, because they need time to be inside growing, and then I'll put them outside before my frost in October for my area. So I also know that it's time to start seeds for us in February, depending on what you're growing, maybe December or January, so that they can be ready to go outside and be decent, strong transplants after our last predicted frost in April. Again, the dates may vary where you are, but the idea is the same. The premise doesn't change here. Your first and last predicted frost dates are applicable to your annual garden. They don't, first, your hardiness zone is really only important to perennials and your fruit trees. And so your perennials need a cold phase. All right, that's why you see people who want to have perennials growing, they put them in the refrigerator to give them an artificial winter. Those plants drop their seeds and they're on the ground and they're getting cold, moist conditions through the winter time. They are under the snow melts, it's still cold outside. but they're getting cold, moist conditions because they need dormancy. Y'all, your seeds are alive. They are plants. They are alive. They are embryos just waiting for the right conditions to come along to turn into a whole plant. And just like anything that's alive, anything that's alive needs a rest period. And so this is what the dormancy is for those seeds. And this is what your hardness zone is about. Your fruit trees need chill hours. Again, your hardness zone will a lot of times include how many chill hours you have in your area. So if somebody's growing something, if you tell somebody, oh man, I'm having such a hard time with these tomatoes, and their first question is, what zone are you in? Your answer really should be, oh, it doesn't matter. But my first and last frost date are these dates. And the best example I can tell you of this is, here, I'll reveal it. I'm in Virginia. I'm in zone 8A. Do you know that there are places in Washington State that are zone 8A? Not Washington, D.C., Washington State on the West Coast, up north. It's cold there. It's I mean, sure they have summers, but not at the same. Their climate is not like ours at the same time as ours. So if I'm talking to my friend in Washington State and they're telling me about their tomatoes are not doing well, at the same time I'm growing tomatoes, she probably shouldn't be growing her tomatoes at that time. It's warm here. It's probably not as warm as it is here in Washington State. All this means for us sharing a zone means that in my area, our lowest temperature will be about 14 degrees. It also means in Washington State, the lowest temperature will be about 14 degrees, but not at the same time. So we're generally not growing, we're not starting the same crops at the same time. There may be some slight overlap. In June, we may both be growing warm weather crops. It's June. It's summer across the U.S. pretty much at that time. But did we start at the same time? No. She would start later than I would. So I do want you to have a clear understanding of hardiness zones versus frost dates and what that means for your garden. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave those questions in the comments. I promise you I will check them and I will answer. But I'm telling you, I've been watching a lot of gardening content and a lot of the other different Facebook groups about gardening, and as soon as somebody says they have a problem about something, the first question someone asks, well, what zone are you in? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm all the way in the zone. I'm zoned out. I'm in auto zone. I'm in the twilight zone. Like, it doesn't matter, because I promise you, your crops are not saying, well, where are we? Is this Minnesota or Virginia? It doesn't matter. They want to know if your crops need either warmth, if those are warm weather crops, or they need cool, if they're cool weather crops. If you're aware, you know that you have some things that you can grow on the shoulder season. In the spring, you could put out some stuff when it's fairly still cool outside. If you have enough days, if you have a good amount of growing time. But you really need to be aware of your first and last frost date. And if you want to know how to find that information, you can go to the USDA website, put in your zip code. You can go to the Almanac website, put in your zip code, and it will tell you by your zip code what your USDA hardness zone is, and it will also tell you what your first and last frost dates will be. for your zip code. But again, if you have any questions, I do suggest that you contact your local extension office, speak to your favorite master gardener, or leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you with information. It's that easy. So I wish you well in your garden, good growing. Hope you're having a great season. Hope your seeds are starting, and hope you have 100% germination. Hope if you planted 1,000 seeds that you get 1,000 seedlings from it, and you transplant 1,000 things, and your garden is bustling and beautiful and green and flowering and fruiting and all the stuff and things that you're hoping for. I wish all that for you. But until next time, like I said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, leave me a question. I'll get back to you with the answer. But yeah, hardness zones don't matter for your annual garden. So you all be good. Have a great day. I know y'all want to see what I'm growing again. Woohoo! It is so green and yeah, I am running out of space. Y'all see some stuff had to come off the shelf. Oh, y'all see my ginger? I forgot to show y'all that. Some stuff had to come off the grow racks. Look at the basil hanging out over there. What are you doing? Had to come off the grow racks because it was just in the way. Oh, also, what's in the box, y'all? We about to go outside. That was it. Y'all be good. Bye.